South Korea, a name synonymous with technological prowess, mesmerizing K-pop, and the home of kimchi and bibimbap. Over the past 6 decades, this East Asian nation has transformed itself from a war-torn country to the world's 10th largest economy. From a GDP per capita that was around $80 in the 1950s to over 30,000 today, South Korea's journey is nothing short of a miracle. It's a story that has inspired awe and envy from across the globe. But now, despite being known for its dynamic growth, South Korea finds itself on shaky grounds. Today, it faces a daunting prospect, a silent collapse. South Korea is facing an unprecedented challenge. Its population is shrinking rapidly, and its economy, once a beacon of growth, is showing signs of stagnation. The question that looms large is South Korea over? In this thought-provoking exploration, we will examine the critical factors that led to this precarious situation. We will start by delving into the heart of the matter, South Korea's falling birth rate. Next, we will turn our attention to the dire consequences of this trend, particularly on the South Korean economy. Lastly, we will attempt to find potential solutions that can steer the nation away from the brink of collapse. South Korea's biggest problem is actually pretty simple. Nobody wants to have babies anymore. In fact, South Korea now has the lowest birth rate in the entire world. In 2023, the average South Korean woman gave birth to only 0.78 children, which is way lower than the replacement rate of 2.1 needed for a stable population. To put this into perspective, a woman in the United States has an average of 1.63 children, while in Iran, where fertility rates are low but higher than South Korea, the average is about 1.44 children per woman. So what's going on in South Korea? Why are people choosing to skip out on having kids? Well, there are several factors at play here. Firstly, let's talk about economic pressure. South Korea is known for its fierce competition and high-pressure environment. The real estate market is crazy expensive and jobs are aplenty, but they come with their own set of challenges. For example, young adults often struggle to land permanent positions. Instead, many find themselves in precarious situations with temporary contracts or irregular employment. This instability trickles down into other aspects of life, including family planning. When individuals are unsure about their own financial security, they tend to be more hesitant when it comes to starting a family. Additionally, the cost of raising a child in South Korea is no joke. Expenses like housing, education, and everyday necessities add up quickly, making it a daunting financial challenge for many households. Next up, we have working women. In South Korea, women are increasingly entering the workforce, but this progress comes with its own set of problems. Balancing a career and motherhood is a tough act to pull off in a society that often expects women to prioritize family over professional ambitions. Many women feel the weight of societal pressure to succeed in both areas, and it's leaving them exhausted and demotivated to have children. And let's not forget about social pressure. Despite South Korea's rapid modernization, traditional views about marriage and gender roles are still deeply ingrained in the society. Men are often expected to be the primary breadwinners, while women are saddled with the responsibility of homemaking and childcare. This traditional mindset limits the options for both men and women when it comes to pursuing their aspirations, and consequently affects their decisions regarding family planning. So the bottom line is that South Korea's declining birth rate is a complex issue driven by economic concerns, shifting gender roles, and societal expectations. Now that we understand the root cause of South Korea's population decline, it's time to look at the potential consequences of this trend. And let's start with something that hits close to home, the economy. You see, a shrinking population means fewer consumers, which in turn can lead to decreased demand for goods and services. This can have a ripple effect throughout the economy, potentially leading to reduced production, slower economic growth, and even job losses. And this isn't just some far-off prediction, it's already happening in South Korea. According to the Korea Economic Institute, the country's GDP growth rate has been on a downward spiral since the 2008 global financial crisis. And things have been rough ever since. The situation is expected to worsen as the population continues to age and the younger workforce shrinks. But it's not just about the size of the workforce, it's also about the skills and expertise they bring to the table. South Korea's competitive edge in the global market has been built on the back of its highly skilled and educated workforce. However, with fewer young people entering the job market, there's a risk of losing the nation's pool of highly skilled workers, which could hamper innovation and long-term economic growth. And let's not forget about the strain on public finances. A smaller population generally means lower tax revenues for the government, while at the same time, an aging population places a greater burden on healthcare and pension systems. In South Korea, the government has been grappling with how to balance the needs of an aging population with the country's overall economic health. This becomes even trickier when the country is already dealing with a mountain of debt. South Korea's public debt to GDP ratio has been on the rise in recent years, climbing from just over 30% in 2007 to over 50% in 2023. And as the population continues to shrink, this trend is likely to continue. The decline in population also poses significant challenges to the social fabric of a nation. When the number of people living in a community decreases, it can lead to the closure of schools, hospitals, and even entire towns. This not only creates a sense of unease and uncertainty among the remaining residents, but also erodes the social connections that are vital to human well-being. It's a downward spiral that can be difficult to break. Fewer people in a community often translates to reduced economic activity, which can further discourage young people from settling down and raising families. This cycle can exacerbate the population decline, making it even harder for the economy to recover. To tackle this complex problem, South Korea has implemented a series of measures aimed at boosting the birth rate and supporting families. One such initiative is the provision of monthly child allowances to help ease the financial burden on parents. The government has also introduced various pregnancy benefits and tax cuts for married couples in an effort to encourage childbearing. However, despite these measures, South Korea's birth rate remains stubbornly low. One reason for the limited effectiveness of these policies is that they tend to treat the symptoms rather than addressing the root causes of the problem. While financial incentives can play a role in influencing people's decisions, they are not the sole determining factor. Young South Koreans are not having children merely because they don't have enough money. They are grappling with a complex web of issues related to work-life balance, societal expectations, and personal aspirations. Simply providing financial aid does little to alleviate these concerns. Moreover, South Korea's current policies often fail to account for the unique challenges faced by different segments of the population. For instance, the country's stringent gender roles and expectations can make it particularly challenging for women who aspire to pursue demanding careers. Policies need to be tailored to address these specific concerns and create an environment that supports both men and women in balancing their professional and family lives. Furthermore, South Korea's heavy-handed approach to population control has also been a source of contention. The government's efforts to promote marriage and childbirth through campaigns and media campaigns have been seen by some as intrusive and out of touch with the realities of young people's lives. Rather than fostering a supportive environment, these campaigns often come across as insensitive and counterproductive. In conclusion, South Korea finds itself at a critical juncture. Its population is shrinking rapidly, and its economy, once a model of growth, is showing signs of stagnation. While the government has taken steps to address the issue, a combination of low birth rate, an aging population, and insufficient policy measures have brought the country to the brink of a demographic disaster. The challenges are complex and far-reaching, affecting everything from the economy to social stability. To truly tackle this crisis, South Korea must address the root causes of its declining birth rate. This includes acknowledging the pressures faced by young people, promoting gender equality, and creating a supportive environment for families. By doing so, the country can hope to reverse this alarming trend and secure a brighter future for itself. But will South Korea take the necessary steps in time? Only time will tell if this nation, which has risen from the ashes of war and poverty, can navigate this new challenge. The world is watching. Thank you for joining us today. Did this video give you some insight? Let us know in the comments what you think about South Korea's situation and what other challenges do you think it might face in the coming years. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share for more insightful content. Your engagement keeps us motivated to bring you more thought-provoking topics. Thanks again for watching. Stay curious and keep exploring. Until next time.